Monday night, you're checking out Breakfast Soup Raw.
Enjoy as Don, Tony, and Mish spill the soup about pro wrestling, sports, news, and pop culture. Breakfast Soup Raw.
Breakfast Soup Raw.
And now, your host, Mish and Don Tony.
All right. It is Christmas week. I'm still not feeling it. I put some little colored lights in the back. Kind of made me sadder than happier. But we will have a fun show tonight. It is Breakfast Soup Raw, December 20th, 2021. I am Don Tony, and joining with me is, who's back?
Anthony Missionary Thomas. What's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well during the holidays.
Yeah,
why is Christmas lights making you feel bad?
Because I looked at the Daphne license plate and a lot of the little statues I have in the background, most of them are people who are deceased. Not every one of them, but it's just looking at the year in review. And, I got a couple of really nice messages today from people who are close to Jimmy Rave. I'll explain why in a few moments. I put up a little idea, there's a little giveaway on social media, and it's just I don't feel it. The Omicron COVID, it's already, I think, 70% of the COVID cases here in the United States, but at least the symptoms are lighter, and although the vaccines really don't prevent it, your body is equipped with ammunition to fight it. So it's just a lot of things. And, especially with my family, I talked about this yesterday. You can't help but to think in the back of your mind, is this the last Christmas when everybody is together? Even on my fiance's side, her mother, I made a mistake yesterday. I said her mother is 80. Her mother is 82. So, tomorrow's never guaranteed. And it's just, Thursday having the heart procedure that I had. And thank you, Roddy Ciulo. You didn't have to do that. Very, very kind of you with that super chat earlier. But, the results were not perfect, but it was the best it could be, because at least I don't have any obstructions, which means I don't need any stents. I don't need any surgery. But, when you hear that you have non-obstructive heart disease, which anybody who gets older has it, I guarantee you almost everybody who is my age tuning in has it. So, and it's not something that diet and a little bit more exercise won't, make it worse. So it's just, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I mean, by this time next year, I'm supposed to be married, and, and you see the Omicron and the Delta cases still around, and, you start thinking, like, are we going to have these fucking restrictions a year from now? I mean, it's a lot. So I'm just trying to make the best of it. We'll have a fun, quick show today. All the shows this week are going to be a little bit shorter, as we already discussed, and especially with this Raw episode tonight. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't feeling tonight's episode. It had nothing to do with Christmas. I mean, I got a kick out of, we talked about it last week on the show. I said they are pushing towards Big E and Bobby Lashley teaming up against Rollins and Kevin Owens, which we got tonight. You and I talked about a month ago that they were going to do the mixed tag with Miz and Maryse versus Beth and Edge. People are only figuring it out tonight. Unfortunately, something that you and I feared about a month and a half ago, that the split is already completed. AJ Styles and Omos tonight on Raw, they officially broke up in a losing effort against the Mysterios. I wrote on the description, the breakup nobody asked for. Am I accurate with that statement? Is AJ Styles, I mean, did anybody out there, I don't recall social media like in droves talking about it. Did anybody out there insist or want or complained and said AJ Styles and Omos need to split. Why was this forced?
As a matter of fact, most people thought that AJ and Omos were one of the cornerstones of Raw, along with guys like, Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, who've been doing a fantastic job. I think a lot of people were happy to see MVP back, among others, and Bobby Lashley get back into the fold. Yeah, no, I didn't hear from anyone saying that they were sick and tired of AJ and Omos being together. I thought they were doing pretty damn well. Other than the silly Street Profits garbage that they had going with the Pizza Hut crap, it was just like whatever. But for the most part, it was kind of seen as AJ Styles is a great mentor for Omos, and people were digging that kind of gimmick. And Omos is a young guy learning and eventually going to get that position to where he gets better and gets put into title runs. I didn't think that it would cause the breakup so soon. I mean, WrestleMania is around the corner. I think a lot of people predicted around WrestleMania this was all going to happen, but man, we're a while out still. We're not even at Royal Rumble yet.
Yeah. And, another conversation that you and I had probably about 2 months ago that I know a lot of you out there will remember. And there were rumblings about 2 months ago that WWE was thinking about turning Bobby Lashley babyface. Tonight, they teased a little dissension between MVP and Bobby Lashley. They had them team up to see how the crowd would react, and we heard those loud Bobby chants tonight during that match.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, Owens and Rollins taking Lashley out. I don't mind. You and I had this conversation 2 months ago. I don't think you and I have changed our thoughts on it much. Like, I don't mind if they turn him babyface as long as he still has the same attitude. He just has a new crop of opponents that he can face. But why tease a split with MVP? Why?
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going with that either. I mean, Bobby Lashley and MVP are another couple of guys that really kind of need each other. And wow, just the idea of MVP and Bobby Lashley spitting. Hell, they tried to tell everybody tonight that they were going to split up Miz and Maryse.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
We knew that wasn't going to happen, but
Yeah.
the fact that they were even playing into that with Edge's talk show, The Cutting Edge, again tonight, like, yeah, they were teasing all sorts of splits all over the place tonight.
Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley is down the line. Rhea Ripley. And that was another conversation we all had last week, that Rhea Ripley, look, Nikki, not for nothing, but, when you're out there with me, I lose. That's coming. It hasn't happened yet, but that's coming. It's coming. A lot of splits, but a lot of forced splits. I mean, they have a much smaller roster. So there's not like 30 or 40 like mid-carders that they're like, oh, well, we're thinking about splitting these two, but we could ultimately pair this person with this person. It's like, if you split these people and you have no B plan, oh, man, are we going to see more releases right after the new year?
That could very well be, too. I don't think that releases are going to be a seasonal thing anymore. Remember how it used to be for a long time?
Yeah.
Right after WrestleMania, the following month or two after WrestleMania was when everybody was used to the bus flip. That's when people expected there to be layoffs and firings, et cetera, et cetera. But with the new regime in charge, with Nick Khan and everybody else taking up different hats and different roles within the company, I wouldn't be surprised if they have another firing next month.
Yeah. What about Vince tonight, Austin Theory? I like firing people. My God.
That was pretty.
The quote was to Austin Theory, maybe I should fire you. I enjoy firing people before the holidays. Yeah.
And that's, what that really is, though. It's not, and I'm sure people are going to take that literally from Vince because that's just the kind of wacky world we live in. But if anything, that was just a statement against all the people that think that Vince gets a murder boner off of firing people, So.
It's business. I mean, business is not always nice.
Right.
I mean, that's just a fact. So,
But that's what he's been dealing with. You've seen it.
Oh yeah.
You've seen. Oh my gosh! Every firing. Oh, Vince hates these people. That's why he's doing it. Vince has lost his damn mind.
You know, we might as well throw this out there now, since we were on the topic of AJ Styles, and you know, for everybody tuning in, welcome. In a few minutes, we will announce the winners of the AJ Mendez, the winners of the CM Punk cards from last week. The predictions contest, I already have those winners. I will publicly announce them as well. We will pick 5 additional winners tonight, and I'll announce the winner. We'll pick it live tonight for the AJ Mendez. And I have a few additional prizes for tonight for Christmas. And they feature Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. I think you will all approve. And for my channel members, an extra pair of photos will be up for grabs. And that will be in a few moments. Because honestly, tonight, we really only have 3 or 4 topics to get into, plus a couple of your questions and comments. We're definitely going to be ending this early tonight. It is the holiday week. I know people are going to be really busy. A lot of people are going to be working less days, which means you got to fit 2 pounds of bologna in a 1 pound bag. So the last thing we want to do is, even us, to be up in the wee hours of the morning. But before we get into that, I just want to get into 3 super chats, if you don't mind. First off, Ronnie, thank you again, my friend. I tell you, I feel pretty good from the heart procedure. The heart procedure, I felt nothing. The incision where the stitches are hurt a little bit. Pain I have right now is just on both feet. Like I said yesterday, I never, ever remember having a bruise on the bottom of my foot. You know, it's so if I walk on that foot, the shit hurts. If I walk on the other foot, favoring that foot, the ankle hurts. So, you know, I appreciate it. And trust me, I try to be as careful as I could. So I did not intend on falling last week. Dream 101. Today at work, he saw this lady with an AEW face mask. And he's like, I like your mask. And she said her son is a wrestler for AEW. And her son is Sonny Kiss. No freaking shit. That's pretty cool. Now, obviously, you know, we don't, know Sonny Kiss's mom. But that's awesome, man. That's pretty cool. You know, very, very awesome. I like Sonny Kiss. I don't know what his future will be in AEW. And on that topic, I think it'll be a great segue to something with Sonya DeVille that we wanted to mention. We'll get to that in one moment. Actually, you know what, Phil? I will get into yours in a second. Since we're on the topic with Sonny Kiss, because obviously, if everybody knows Sonny Kiss's character, it's we celebrate LGBTQ, and Sonya DeVille did an interview over the weekend, and Sonya DeVille said that she would like to see more LGBTQ characters on TV and in storyline. And I don't know how you feel about this. I think it was Nicole Kidman. I mean, I don't follow her. I don't give a crap about her. I don't pay attention to Hollywood. But I could swear I saw her make a quote this weekend that LGBT characters don't always have to be played by LGBTQ people. And I think that's a pretty accurate statement. You know what I mean? Like, careful. I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, if you're playing a character, because look, I'll give you a great example. One of my favorite musicians of all time is Sylvester, R&B singer. And, there was a documentary made a while ago, and there was another rumored one to come out, and the person who was going to portray Sylvester is a straight man. And there was an uproar of people that were like, no, we want someone who is gay to play Sylvester. And I just personally think that, I have no problem of a gay person playing a non-gay person, superhero, non-superhero, heterosexual. Like, I don't think the sexuality should be limited to the same sexuality. How do you feel about that? I know it's a loaded question, But since Sonya Deville brought it
Well, I
up,
mean, it is a loaded question. It's not the very first time. Sonya Deville is just kicking a dead horse that's been used multiple times over the years, from Brokeback Mountain and Milk to even Scarlett Johansson trying to do an LGBTQ movie to where she was actually kicked out of her own movie. So,
what do you think about wrestling, at least?
straight wrestlers playing LGBTQ characters and vice versa.
We have Billy and Chuck.
I understand that acting is a talent, and being able to convey a message through good acting is what people want to see when it comes to storylines. I think for a lot of the LGBTQ community, and I'm not speaking on behalf of them or anything, but I think a lot of them find it insulting because they feel like it's weird that a straight person can play how they feel when they have no understanding of how they feel. But that's just the message that I've heard over the years. Personally, I think that if you're a good enough actor or a good enough talent or a good enough promo, you would be able to do any character, no matter what it is. So I stand in the same vein as you. I do believe that anybody can play it, but I don't think, okay, maybe I should retract that. I don't think anybody can play it. I think that talented people can do it. I don't think anybody should try. You know what I mean? There's the problem is and here's where it gets a little dicey, is that let's say Otis was all of a sudden to play an LGBTQ character out of nowhere, and he doesn't portray the character well. And if anything, it starts to look like a bad stereotype. And people kind of cringe when they see Otis trying to hit on other dudes. Yeah. And it comes off wrong. See, in that scenario, I kind of agree with them. It's like, yeah, maybe not everybody can play this character, but you have somebody else that might be more talented that can cut a promo and that can convey that message without being completely cringe. You know what I mean? Like, good for them. Then they're doing a good job. So yeah, I don't know.
I think of Lenny and Lodi from back in the day, and I mean,
look at Billy and Chuck.
Look at Billy and Chuck, but
fantastic, and they were not LGBTQ.
Yeah, but Lenny and Lodi, that was pretty fascinating, and it was swept under the rug. I mean, I was doing my wrestling hotline at that time, and for those that don't know the story about Lenny Lane having, I think it was the Cruiserweight Championship, and them, the story, if I remember correctly, they did a phantom title change because the network was very uncomfortable with Lenny and Lodi, sucking on the lollipops and stuff like that. And to think that was only 20 years ago, I mean, so for anyone out there that wants to do a little, history digging, if you're not aware of that story, I remember covering it in real time at that time, and it was pretty interesting to see how quietly it was swept under the rug, and even the news websites just like move on. Seriously.
Honestly, let me throw this out here. I'm reading Harris's comments. I'm reading a few other people's comments in the chat too, but let me throw this out here. Maybe in wrestling, it makes more sense for LGBTQ community characters, for those people to play those types of characters. And the only reason I say that is because unlike entertainment and movies and television, on the sense of like a TV series, where the actor and the character that they play on screen are very different, with wrestling, a lot of times the wrestlers themselves are just amplified versions of their character.
Right.
There's usually some kind of synergy between Becky Lynch, the person, and Becky Lynch, the character, for example. So maybe in the sense of wrestling, maybe it is a better idea.
You could commingle the two. Let's say Sonya Deville had a love interest, and look, she's very close with Mandy Rose. I'm not using Mandy Rose as an example. I don't mean it in that way, but we're just using it for character purposes.
Right.
You could intertwine it in the sense where you can have one of the two parties LGBTQ, and the other person not. So it's almost like I knew people who at the phrase that people used at the time was bi-curious. Yeah. And let's say Sonya were to they do a love interest with Mandy Rose. Remember, we almost saw something with Lana. Remember the wedding stuff with Lana on TV? I mean, we almost got it. And then WWE, I think, got extremely cold feet and moved on like quickly. So, but we'll see. You know, we'll see. I have no problem. I just feel you don't want to put it on TV just to put it on TV. And then if the storyline is not solid, like you said, Mish, whether it's somebody portraying LGBTQ that's not, or someone who is.
You know what would make that even worse, though? I mean, we'll go back to Otis for a second. What would make that even worse is if Otis was actually trying.
Right.
If a wrestler was actually trying to do a good job and not be wacky, and they still ended up being insulting to people. See, that would be the worst possible scenario because you have somebody being genuine, but it doesn't matter because it comes off like you're an asshole on television.
Can I be a little selfish for a minute? This might be a little controversial, but you know, me, maybe my greatest asset and my worst asset at the same time. I express my views, whether people like it or not. I would be freaking fascinated to see how social media would react to it. Because you would think...
to a bad character, to somebody playing a bad character?
Yeah, but if it has to do with LGBTQ, because you know there are a ton of people out there that are freaking petrified to you know, like to if you're a heterosexual person and you start criticizing an LGBTQ character, there's a lot of people out there, and a lot of you could see it with some of the other promotions out there. You know, we see Effie and others, and you look at some people closely who rip on everything, and when it gets to that topic,
we've had good representations and bad representations. Yeah. Orlando Jordan comes to mind.
Orlando, he would have been fine if they didn't take that lotion and squirt it.
But that's what I'm saying. There's somebody who's actually part of the LGBTQ community, but he made such a mockery of what he was doing that it was really a bad look. But then you had other people. Isn't Darren Young? Am I wrong with that?
Yes.
Darren Young is.
Darren Young is.
And he played a character even when he was with Bob Backlund. No recognition of his sexuality. Yeah. He played a talented individual. He was talented in the ring. It just wasn't the best character with Bob Backlund. But at no point was he an embarrassment to anyone of the LGBTQ community.
Absolutely. So. Before we finish the show, which is not yet, but before we finish the show tonight, we continue with the Blackhearts Year End Awards. These two categories should be very easy for us to work on. And for everybody who is live, you can help us pick the nominees for these categories. One is Tag Team of the Year, and the other one is Most Memorable Moment of the Year. And I've already come up with a few, and I don't think we're going to really have any issue whatsoever coming up with a really good list really quickly. So we'll do that very, very shortly. Before we overview Raw, let's do the winners right now for last week's contests, and then we will get into this week's because we got some pretty cool things over here. First off, we gave away 10 AEW CM Punk Upper Deck cards, 10 of these. 5 featured everybody in the live chat last week, guessed the rating for AEW Dynamite. Last week's rating, actually, is last week's rating. AEW Dynamite's rating last week was 948. Nice little jump with Winter is Coming. And all you had to do is be the closest to that rating. And the winners from last week's Guess the Rating contest is, I have it right here, in no particular order, the Villain, Jeff R., Kevon Lewis, Thomas Hester, and Franchise 1218. So those 5 have won CM Punk cards. You can either DM me on Twitter, email me, dontony@dontony.com, or if you're a channel member, you can reach out to me as a channel member, and we will hook up that way. Now we have 5 more cards. Nice. We have 5 more cards to give away tonight. And all you had to do was post a comment last week in the comment section with the hashtag CM Punk. And I am going to pull up, this is last week's episode, and this is live. If you look, this is live. This is me playing right now. I am going to click this program that says pick a winner. Very easy. And obviously, whatever you posted in your comments last week, you had to include hashtag CM Punk. So, Hustle, I'm going to work on bobbleheads. Thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. I'm going to work on bobbleheads at the beginning of the year. I have to make another batch up. I still probably have 5 or 10, but I am going to be making up another batch of bobbleheads because a lot of people have been asking about it. So I would say sometime in January, I should have another crop. We'll give some away. We'll, maybe if anybody wants to buy one. So, all right. So now remember the 5 names that I mentioned earlier, you only win once. You got to spread it around. So if your name pops up now, you're already a winner. So we'll just move on to the next person. So in no particular order, let's hit this button 5 times and we'll pick some winners. So Bure, B-U-R-E. Bure, you are a winner of the CM Punk card. Next person is Sam. Sam, I am. Loyal, longtime friend of the show. You are a winner. Next on the list, Backyard Growing. He's got the CM Punk card. Next on the list, David R. Did David R. win on the other contest? No, he did not. That was Jeff R. So that is number 4. You fell asleep, but you still won. And number 5, Tyler Robio. Tyler Robio. And, he's been on Patreon for a year. And, I guess, he's one to keep silent. But congrats, everybody. So now we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to do the AJ Mendez photo. This was the photo. I'll put it in the screen. That is the photo. That's the actual photo. Very, very cute picture of AJ. And let me go back to this screen now.
I was just trying to show off those other people. That's the Cavalier twins, by the way.
Oh, okay. I was just I saw his legs, and I'm like, okay, that's nice.
No, it's WWE's new twins. I'm sorry,
they look like the Bellas.
That's exactly why they put them side by side. Yeah,
I know. Actually, I actually probably could do this. There we go.
Actually, here, no, that's just
it's a little off-centered. I got to fix that. Yeah, I don't think I don't think anybody's complaining. I think people are just fantasizing some other heads on there. Maybe like some people's like creepy neighbors and stuff like that. They're fantasizing.
There we go. This should be better. There you go. Well, now you can put it back to normal. And you can see.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see. I'm not going to criticize them. I don't know much about them, and I haven't seen them do anything with wrestling. So look, if they
they're part of the NIL program.
That's what I'm saying. So
they're brand new.
Yeah. So if they learn the trade, but let's be honest, I personally think like 90 to 95% of the people in this NIL deal are never going to become wrestlers. Never going to become wrestlers. I think once they realize, wait, I have to do what? I have to back bump? What's a back bump? I don't see that. So, but all right. So this is the photo we are giving away right now. Let's put this back on the screen. Let's go to pick a winner. So all you had to do was post a comment last week. Hashtag AJ. That was it. We didn't have to put anything else because I was afraid some people would put AJ Lee, AJ Brooks, AJ Mendez. So we just left it at AJ. So obviously, if you already won You're not in this one. But we didn't have to worry about it because J.R. Bloom, and thank you. I agree with you, my friend. I think Jeff Hardy was just completely burned out in WWE, physically and mentally, and it just came to a melting point. But congrats. Wow, so we didn't have any duplicate winners today, so that was pretty easy. That was pretty freaking easy. So congrats to all the winners. Now, I'm going to scan these tomorrow, and I'll post them in the community section so you could see these a little bit better. But what we're going to do tonight, all right? So we're going to give away 2 Undertaker photos and a Steve Austin photo. And this is one of the photos right here. This is the same photo I got for Tim Tap not too long ago. And a lot of people thought it looked really, really cool. So this is one Undertaker photo. Like I said, I will scan them tomorrow so you can see a better picture of it. This is another picture of the Undertaker. These are real. These are not fake, obviously.
Right.
So those are 2. And the Steve Austin. Here's your Stone Cold Steve Austin photo. So all you have to do in the comment section, you post a comment, and then after the comment, if you want to be part of the Undertaker giveaway, you just put hashtag Undertaker. If you want to be part of the Steve Austin, just put hashtag Austin. Simple. You don't have to put Stone Cold Steve Austin, just hashtag Austin. Now, for my for my channel members, somebody is going to get this Steve Austin picture, which I think looks pretty freaking cool. Somebody's going to get this Steve Austin picture. This one is, the color is so vibrant. And the same person is going to get this one. So they're going to get 2 Undertaker photos. And I love the autograph. It is right front and center. So someone is going to win them both in the channel members. Don't worry about posting anything yet for my channel members. I'm going to post something tomorrow, and everybody, it doesn't matter if you're in a VIP or a member of the family, every channel member is open to it. So somebody will win both of those picks. And look, if you're a channel member, you can take part in these, and you could take part in the other ones. So that's it. So those are the contests. We got them out of the way pretty quickly. And I think next week we'll give away this freaking bad boy. Yeah, we'll give this freaking bad boy away. It is signed by Johnny Gargano, first Triple Crown champion. We gave one of these away a while ago, and I have 2 of these, but it's so freaking big, I can't put it in the background. So I think we'll give that away next week. So, all right. So I guess we could tackle Raw.
Sure.
I know we already talked about AJ Styles and Omos. Well, I guess we don't have to do things necessarily in order, but let's talk about the big boys. Bobby Lashley opens up Raw and basically talking about being in day 1 and basically what this leads to is what we talked about last week, that WWE was looking to team up Biggie and Bobby Lashley. Mish and I talked about it maybe 2 months ago, that WWE was thinking about turning Lashley babyface. And tonight was the test. And we had Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins basically attack Bobby Lashley, which, to be fair in storyline, Bobby Lashley attacked them last week, fought them in matches. What did you think about the whole opening that led to the tag team match to close out Raw?
It threw me off a little bit. I'm not a big fan of the idea of Bobby Lashley becoming a face. I think that his notoriety right now needs to stay him as a heel. I think him and MVP work best with the cocky attitude, the new generation Brock Lesnar, whatever you want to look at him as. I think he kept it kind of ambiguous with Big E But that's kind of like a telltale trope with WWE where, oh, we don't like each other, but for tonight only, we're going to be
Coexist.
pals. Like, and Big even made a joke about don't say the C word. And it's like,
Well, you know what Kevin Owens did? Not to interrupt you. Kevin Owens wrote on social media, can we coexist? And he spelled K-O, as in Kevin Owens. And when, when they would, that could be a shirt.
I mean, every single guy in here has their own reason to try and get this belt. Obviously, Big E wants to keep his own. Bobby Lashley is looking to reestablish himself. KO and Seth don't like each other, but they're on the same path, and they just want Big E to lose the belt. So it's kind of like a one against all, but at the same time, it's another one of these things that WWE does a lot of. Yeah. So.
Shout out to AS7607. Merry Christmas. I don't want to say honey or sweetheart because some people take that the wrong way. My neighborhood, you'll be surprised how many people in my father's store, if somebody needs help, sweetheart, you need something? And it's acceptable. And I always say to myself, one day, I'm not kidding, mostly for elderly women, but someone who works in a store, like they'll see like somebody trying to reach them, sweetheart, you need help with that? Not meant in any sexual way. And I owe it for years. I've been saying to myself, one day I expect someone to turn around and say,
okay with that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't call any of my customers sweetheart or honey or anything like that. Like,
yeah, man, if I did that, I'd get a shoe thrown at me or something. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I can't go around calling girls sweetheart or honey.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously because of the relationship, but I don't think I would do it if I worked at my dad's store. I mean, when I used to work there, I don't remember ever saying, honey, do you need anything else? Sweetheart, do you need help with that? Or can I help you with something? You'd be shocked on how many. In fact, I don't want to out him. Some of you may know who it is already. If he wants to be outed, he'll let you all know. But there is a wrestling podcaster out there that does a pretty damn good show. He's been around for a little while. And 99.999% of you out there don't realize or don't know that this wrestling podcaster works at my dad's store. Nobody knows. I don't know if anybody knows, but if he wants to reveal himself and let everybody know, like, yeah, I'm the one, I work at his dad's store. I see him every day. And he'll tell you. I think he's one of them that he'll say, honey, do you need anything else? Hon, can I help you with something? That's what they do. It's just the neighborhood. I don't know why they do that, but getting back to Raw, I am totally in agreement with you. The opening, it felt like they were trying to do too much in one episode. I mean, the coexist stuff, all year long with Drew and Big E and this Drew person and this person. Oh,
right.
I'm
all year long, dude. All fucking year.
Yeah. So the coexist is one thing, and then testing Bobby Lashley as a babyface is another, and teasing the split with MVP is another, and to still keep friction with Big E. Yeah, because day one, it's every man for himself. It just felt too much in 1 week. My opinion, they should have announced Bobby Lashley in this match 2-3 weeks ago. And then last week, we should have had what we got tonight. Because then they still have
what's funny about this? And let me just throw this out here, because this is a creative issue. Because we're talking about WWE literally doing the same thing that they've been doing all year long. The problem is you have 4 individual people with 4 individual goals. There's no reason to constantly put these guys in tandem tag teams. If you have a 4-way match, they can play with individual one-on-one matches without having to go to the trope like, we can coexist this week. It's really lazy. It's really just 2D. It's not very deep at all. The best thing they could have done is separate all 4 of these people and follow the storyline of each individual guy. If Seth is trying to go after KO and Seth is trying to go after Big E, then show what Seth is doing by himself. Show how Seth is preparing for this. If you want to do things like a run-in, it doesn't have to be a 2-on-2 run-in. Why can't one person run in and smack all three guys in the head like they did with Bobby Lashley a little bit? But it's like you keep it going that way. I just hate the fact that people have to make these weird truces in order to get to the pay-per-view. It doesn't make any sense. You can have individual characters all going for the same prize, especially if it's a fatal four-way. I mean, unless it's going to be some kind of stupid tag team that comes from this, which would be awful. I mean, do you see that? Is there anything that you see from that after day one that Seth and KO become a tag team, or Bobby Lashley and Big E become a tag team after this? Do you see that?
I don't see Bobby Lashley and Big E. I see the possibility of Seth and Kevin Owens, especially since Riddle and Randy are tag champs still. Now you're splitting up AJ Styles and Omos. That was a heel tag team that everybody enjoyed. Now you created a void. Yeah, that rhymed, but it creates a void. A team's got to fill that void. Veer. And that was intentional, everyone. I can't believe that my, modification of the Veer intro hasn't caught on with people out there. 7 weeks ago, we started joking around saying, like, when does this guy get a debut? And then it was 5 weeks ago, I said, this feels like they're starting to create an Emma. And then it was 3 weeks ago that I took Emma's intro. Remember? You've waited so long. I promise you it'll be worth the wait. And I mixed it together, and it's hilarious. But I've been saying for well over a month that Veer is turning into the new Emmalina. Now people are like, oh, this is like the Emmalina run. WWE, and look, let me tell you something. If I was Veer Mahaan right now, I would not be happy, and I'll tell you why. Any of you out there that has not seen it yet, go to their social media account, WWE's Twitter account, because they posted, the same thing they've been doing every week about Veer coming to Raw. But this time they wrote, tell your friends. And the tweet looks like a total mock on what they've been doing with Veer Mahaan. If I was Veer Mahaan, I would be like, that's not fucking funny. It's kind of embarrassing. And now it seems like they're turning their tweets into something comedic with him. And believe me, I don't think Veer Mahaan's character is supposed to be funny. Like you think he's going to come out there and juggle?
It's going to be comic relief. He might be, and just to go with wrestling tropes, he might be so serious guy that they're going to make fun of him for being that serious.
Yeah.
Lance Storm made a career out of it. So it definitely works. But
yeah, by the way, thank you, Crazy Cruiserweight, for the super chat. Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews beat Tozawa and R-Truth. Yes, they wrestled tonight, even though we saw that awful segment, which we will talk about in a second, and Veer Mahaan over T-Bar. And we didn't get anybody tonight, everyone. If you look at the description for tonight's show, it says Veer Mahaan beat Matthew A. Rotz. And whenever people don't know who an opponent is, but they claim they're at the show, I will always put Matthew A. Rotz, because Matt is short for Matthew, and if you spell it out, it's Matarazz. And I've caught wrestling news websites that have put Austin Theory wrestled in a dark match and beat Matthew A. Rotz. They just take it from my YouTube page.
Right.
It's fake. But it's funny. You and I had this conversation like 3 weeks ago. That is Reggie and Dana going to be almost like, not necessarily romantic where they're going to kiss, but you remember when we had the thing where Reggie is going to woo Dana Brooke, have nice times, and then there's going to be a moment where maybe he has Dana slowly lay back, maybe like in a couch, and she closes her eyes, and she expects to be kissed from Reggie, and Reggie instead pins her, takes the fucking 24/7 title, and runs away. Does it feel like that's happening, or is Tamina going to fuck that all up?
I mean, it probably could. I wouldn't doubt that this is just a ploy for Reggie to get the belt back. It really feels that way. Dana's storyline is what it is right now. She's just kind of in the doldrums, even though she has a title. It's only a matter of time before Reggie gets it back. That's literally the way I'm looking at it. That title is pretty much Reggie's title for right now. So Dana isn't exactly changing the 24/7 game. So
yeah. Happy anniversary, Larry C. 3 months, member of the family. He believes they have mentioned in Judges the 14th chapter. Wait, he's super old. He's super old, not as old as Veer's vignettes. And he believes they are mentioned in Judges the 14th chapter, if he's not mistaken. I have no idea what the 14th chapter is.
Why is he talking about the Bible? I missed that. He's talking about Judges in the Bible.
Yeah, maybe something with Veer. Maybe it was something with Veer.
So Veer's name is in Judges 14?
That's interesting. That is interesting. I honestly, and look, I'm not saying this to try to be controversial. I just don't know how Veer Mahaan's character has anything reference to the Bible. So I'm a little curious with that. You don't have to super chat that, Larry, but maybe elaborate in the comment section a little bit. Some people got the joke because people are laughing their ass off. I don't know. Maybe Larry's just a little drunk tonight. Having a little extra eggnog, which is good.
Tis the season.
Yeah, tis definitely the season.
Oh, dude, I was drinking that Kraken today. I actually tried it. I got some yesterday as a gift. I don't know if you've tried the Kraken, the spiced rum, but during Christmas, they always have those Christmas bottles, and they have like the special things that come with the bottle. Like I get Jaeger, and then you get like free Jaeger cups. So we got Kraken this time. And I've never tried Kraken. Like I like Captain Morgan's, that's a nice spiced rum. This Kraken thing grew hair on my balls. I swear to God, dude, it is like drinking gasoline. But if you mix it with pineapple juice, it tastes absolutely delicious. So I got to try it with some rum. That's the other way that people usually have spiced rum. So you got to have it with eggnog and a little bit of Kraken. We'll definitely try that. But
thank you for the hot dogs.
Good luck to you, Larry. Thank you for the Bible verse. So
thank you for the hot dogs. I got this giant box. Everybody, I got this giant box yesterday, and I was at the parents' house most of the day, so I didn't even look where it says refrigerate immediately. I just put it on the floor in my house. So
Jesus, did you?
No, it was ice cold. It was ice cold. It was fine. So I open it up, and I'm like, I didn't buy hot dogs. So I'm looking at it to see if there's any card in there, for someone else, and there was none. And I'm like, not many
there was
people have.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, there wasn't, and I didn't. Not many people have my home address, so I'm like, I have no idea who sent this. So I called the hot dog company, and they said we don't have record of your account. So I said to my fiance, I said, I guess we got free hot dogs, So we opened it up and we ate it yesterday, and we had part of it yesterday.
I've sent stuff to your house before. Why would you?
I didn't even think of it. So
somebody sending Chicago authentic hot dogs to you would have been like.
She ate it yesterday. I ate it today. I was in bed for most of the day yesterday, but she loved it. I ate it today. I had two of them, and it was a giant kit.
Did you make them the right way?
Yeah, I boiled them.
Oh no, you're supposed to steam them.
Really? I boiled them, but what happened was, when I boiled it, I heard, and I normally don't boil hot dogs, but it says on the instructions, boil, steam. I didn't want to microwave them.
Steam is the proper way. Yeah, don't microwave. That's gross.
What happened was, when I was boiling them in a microwave, they split open. And when they split open, I guess it was like an orgasm, just like water just bursted everywhere in my microwave. But they were freaking good. They were good.
Yeah.
I never ate celery salt on a hot dog before.
To let people know. So for people that don't know, it's not just a box of hot dogs that they sent you.
No, it's a lot more than that, Sam. There was a lot of shit in there.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
Vienna care package. So if you're familiar with Chicago hot dogs, Vienna's the hot dog that kind of runs around Chicago. Chicago
Yeah.
dogs made with Vienna.
Yeah.
So you steam the buns, you steam the hot dog, you put on celery salt, you put on onions, you put on tomato, you put on pickle, you put on relish, you put on mustard. No fucking ketchup, because Chicago's anti-ketchup. You put on the yellow mustard, ballpark mustard, and I think they came with everything except for the vegetables. And then you put on a couple of sport peppers, and and it's delicious. And so I figured I'd try and give it to you because, like, last time you sent me, I think you sent me when I was out in PA. Maybe it was in PA when you sent me the New York Franks. What were those called? Ball Franks or something like that.
So Brett,
What's the New York base? No, because I specifically asked you.
Oh, maybe it was from the Carnegie Deli.
Dogs.
It might have been Carnegie.
No. It was specifically the dogs that they serve at Met Stadium. I asked you, and you popped it right up.
Maybe it was Sabret. It might have been Sabret. Nathan's.
No, it was pretty common of a name. I just didn't realize
Nathan's
it was New York.
Ballpark. I don't remember.
Nathan's.
Yeah, Nathan's awesome. Oh my God.
Well, I never had Nathan's until I got to the East Coast. It's not. I think they might be around here in Chicago, but it's not common. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, it wasn't until I got to the East Coast that I tried Nathan's.
Yeah. Larry, I got it now. Yeah, he was just talking about how Veer. Yeah, Veer's been around for so long, and Sam, I get it. It's all good. But the best thing about Nathan's, besides the hot dogs, is their potato French fries. Oh my God,
okay.
Their potato wedges are incredible.
Even try those.
Yeah. But you'll enjoy what I sent you. But I had it scheduled to be delivered Friday, so I figured for Christmas weekend you'll probably enjoy it. So those hot dogs will not survive by Friday. So tomorrow I'm barbecuing a few. Going to the parents' house Tuesday night, so we're gonna throw some on a barbecue. So
good.
All right. Cruiserweight. Yes, I should have mentioned it earlier, and I'm sorry, but yes, no more Sonya DeVille talk for the rest of the night. That is a promise. And thank you again for the main event results. Shout out once again to Hustle is a Habit. I don't think I mentioned Hustle's name earlier when I was talking about the bobbleheads, but shout out to you, my friend. And Dennis Slusher II. He wants a DT Santa bobblehead. I tell you, that graphic on the screen, I think that actually would look good with it almost looks like Bobby Lashley where he wears the red suit because I'm dressed like the Santa Claus. Maybe I can get them to make up a Don Tony Santa Claus bobblehead.
Maybe.
It's not a bad idea, man. Thank you for the idea. Thank you for the super chat too. But yeah, I think that actually would look pimping. The red suit like that. I may have to. I'm not kidding. I may have to send that to the company and say, look, you make it same way, but make it with the. Yeah, that might work. But the only problem is it's not a bobblehead you would keep around all year long. So, but not a bad idea. All right, we get back to Raw. Putting my info in front of me. Look, there was news that came out last week that WWE was applied for a trademark for Piper Niven. Now, that's very interesting, Mish, because a lot of people have been very vicious towards Doudrop on social media, thinking that she's next to be released. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, we are fans of Doudrop Piper Niven, so we're not saying that. But WWE applied for the trademark for Piper Niven. So it's pretty obvious that because of her losing streak, we may see her get repackaged, or maybe, she's no longer Doudrop, she's Piper. I don't even know if they'll use the last name. Maybe they'll start off with Piper Niven, but I could just see her being Piper. I know we've had Roddy, but, I could see them using Piper. If WWE gets that trademark, I don't know. I mean, what happens when she's no longer gone? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but it seems like Doudrop may be dropping the Doudrop soon.
Good.
She lost
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, she lost
I've
to.
hated that name since they initially placed it on her. That name was garbage since day one. You know, when they called her Doudrop, and it wasn't just my opinion. There was a lot of people that were unhappy. They made comments about what Doudrop actually means. You've made comments too, like it means like Doudrop the weight, Doudrop the belt, you know, Doudrop a few pounds. Like it was just trolls left and right. But I mean, it was a dumb name to begin with, and it was a name given to her by somebody who was treating her poorly in storyline anyways, even Marie.
Yes.
So the fact that she kept this name that admittedly wasn't her name to begin with, it was just really asinine. So I'm glad WWE is taking steps to change her name back to what it was. It's silly that she's had this stupid name for as long as she has.
Don't mind me. I'm just taking off my ice thing. As you all saw yesterday, you know, it only lasts about an hour. It's already up to 85 degrees or something. So I get a good hour out of it, and that's it. It's dead, which sucks. So ankle's still pretty swollen, but well,
we can get ready. We'll
no, it's fine. Yeah, we're almost done. I mean, Doudrop, I like her. She's very talented. This feud with Bianca, and we've talked about it before, was strictly designed to get Bianca away from that women's championship, to get her out of the mention, to get fans to stop talking about it. Now this feud is over. Now what happens with Bianca Belair? We get to day one, then we get to the Royal Rumble, and you know, now I'm starting to think Bianca Belair might be a favorite to win the Royal Rumble. And I know for some people that might, you know, a lot of it, what we talk about sounds like Groundhog Day, but I could see Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble just to set up a title match for WrestleMania, which happens to be over 3 months away. So I don't know. I did not like this feud from the beginning. I thought tonight's match was great, though. And that KOD that she did, They nailed it tonight.
They mesh well together. Surprisingly, I think initially Bianca Belair and Doudrop didn't have very good chemistry, but they've worked on it. I mean, it was a good match tonight. I totally agree with you. It made both girls look pretty strong out there. So, yeah, I don't want Piper Niven. I don't want Doudrop to go away. I just wanted to get rid of the name and maybe come up with a new gimmick or maybe a change of attitude a little bit. Not necessarily, you know, her pushing away from being a heel, but I don't know. I think she's capable of a lot more, you know, and I'm not sure that she doesn't get very much promo time either. It feels like they don't put her in front of the camera. They don't put her in front of the mic very often. You know, they recognize her ability because she goes out there and she has good matches. I don't know. She's a mixed bag whenever I see her on TV, and I don't think it's my end. I think there's a confusion as to what WWE wants to do with her, because on one hand, they want to kind of push her as a monster heel, especially in the wake of them losing Nia, you know, in the wake of Nia being gone. You almost kind of expect Doudrop to kind of pick up that big woman pass and start flexing on girls, but they don't pull the trigger on that idea. And Bianca Belair is so friggin' talented. That girl is beyond her years, and she's definitely going to be the next veteran. She's going to be on the next tiers of veterans, ushering in the next generation of these girls that are coming in, maybe even off of NIL. I have no doubt in my mind that Bianca Belair is going to be in WWE for a very long time, but they don't know what to do with her either, TT.
Yeah. I got news for you. You know, like we already are setting up the categories for Male Wrestler of the Year, Women's Wrestler of the Year. We did the Pink Slip Award yesterday and Breakout Star of the Year. And I tell you, would not be surprised if Bianca Belair ends up winning Women's Wrestler of the Year. I think her resume has been extremely solid, and she just really impresses in matches. I mean, really impresses. Tonight's match was very good. But I'm with you. Like, where do you go from here with Doudrop? And where do you go from here with Bianca Belair? because Liv, and I guess we can mention this quickly also, you've seen Liv Girl, right? We have Liv Girl and we have Becky Girl. Let me see if I have Liv Girl handy. Shit. I've downloaded so many pictures recently. Do I have Liv Girl? I have to have Liv Girl. What the hell is Liv Girl? I see Chewbacca from a couple of weeks ago. What the hell is Liv Girl? Maybe not. Yeah, I do not see it. Okay, that's fine. But, you know, we had that girl that was very pissed off after. I'm freaking pissed. Now I almost feel like I got to come through with this picture. Oh, wait. Here's Becky. I found it. Okay, here's Liv Girl. I got Liv Girl. Let's put Becky Girl in here as well because we already joked we wanted that WrestleMania match. This was Becky Girl from last week. I don't know if you saw that. She was freaking pissed off at Liv Morgan. That is Becky Girl. But this is Liv Girl. And Liv Morgan over the weekend said that she wants to invite Liv Girl and her family to WWE Day One. And I would not be surprised if that happens. But, Mish, I got to ask you, honestly. You know, I'm talking about for kids now. Now, you have Liv Girl. This is a girl that's really behind Liv. How would you feel being Liv Morgan if you invite Liv Girl and her family to Day One and then you lose again? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a nice gesture to offer to Liv Girl and her family to WWE Day One.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Because they don't know. The women don't know who's winning that match yet. But can you imagine inviting that little girl? I mean, when she gets older, she'll understand it a little bit more. But for now, I mean, look at the picture of her face. What the fuck do you think her face is going to look like if Liv loses again at Day One? I mean, she's going to look like that she's constipated.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would be it's a nice gesture by Liv, but I don't know if that was a smart idea because the way I feel right now, I do not see Liv Morgan winning that championship. I don't see her winning at Day One. What did you think of the promo exchange tonight between her and Becky? Because I like Liv, and you and I debated Liv. You and I have debated her. I think a year from now, she definitely, with more seasoning and improvement, she could become women's champion for sure. I don't think it's time yet. Her promo tonight, it felt like, it sounded like a woman with a cold reading a book. You know what I mean? Like,
she's awful.
Yeah, it was.
Liv is awful. She doesn't understand even what her promo was tonight. I don't even think she understood what she was doing. Throwing the kendo out there at Becky, it's like, do you even understand what you're trying to do? She's trying to present herself as this stone cold badass, but she's a marshmallow. She really is a damn marshmallow. And then they showed that little promo of her sneaking in.
That was produced.
Becky's student. Becky's student.
I watched that yesterday, and the way they set up the cameras. The first thing I said at the very beginning of Becky's training session, we don't have 10,000 fans in that training session. We don't even have 500 loud, crazy fans in that training. We don't even have 100 loud, crazy fans. It is just Becky, another person, and like 6 people around ringside. You mean to tell me they have the camera with Liv? It's almost like, Liv's eyes entering the gym or whatever it is. And then she's on the other side of the ring. And then she enters the ring and it looks like a bad horror film. And Becky can't hear all the trainers around ringside saying, Becky, no, turn around. Liv, don't. No, don't. And Becky turned into a fucking mute. You know what it looked like, seriously? If you and me were in high school All right. Well, let's kind of tweak that. Remember Mick Foley with the Dude Love stuff where he's at the house and he climbs and he lands on the mattress? It was like so fucking goofy, but they were play wrestling. How that was produced is if you and I like recorded like a wrestling segment and it was just like so corny and awful, but we had so much fun. That was so pathetically poorly produced. What did you think about it? I thought it was freaking awful.
It was. I thought it was awful, but I don't want to say too much because people are already calling me a misogynist in the chat for apparently not liking Liv because censorship. But yeah, dude, I'm not a fan of it. I don't think Liv is all she's cracked up to be. I think that people want to like her because they think she's cute or something. I don't know what it is. I don't understand the attraction for Liv. I don't understand why people think she's going to be the next big thing, that she's the next main eventer. I don't see it. I see other people having a better shot at doing better with their time in WWE than Liv. Liv's already been around for a long time through many different incarnations. And if this is how she reacts and this is what she shows us when she's standing by herself, I'm not impressed. Sorry. There's a lot of other people that can just pass her right by, So it kind of goes back to the whole Alexa Bliss thing. The same people that I think that are head over heels for Liv right now are the same people that were crazy about Alexa Bliss. There's just a lot of flash and no function. And I don't think that's misogynist to say that she's not as talented as other women around her.
When she talks, she needs to pause a little more. Because it's almost like the world record longest sentence. She'll be, I didn't really like to hit that woman, but I have to admit it kind of felt pretty good. And Becky, if you don't do this and blah, 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 blah. And Becky, why don't you take the kendo stick? What are you doing? Like, there's no dramatic pauses. There's no change in her pitch. If you listen to it closely, it's like she's reading a book. And that'll improve over time. And again, I like Liv. I just don't think it's the right time for her to be champion. So
I don't dislike Liv. I don't hate Liv. I nothing Liv. Liv does nothing for me. There's just nothing she does that's enjoyable. That's it. It's not a hate thing because you have to like something in order to hate it. And I never liked Liv to begin with. So
Cruiserweight, you can't just go with 30 years old. That once you hit 30, that's it, you're done. It doesn't work that way. If this was 1985,
that's awesome.
If this was 1985, I would say otherwise. But Bianca Belair is at the top of her game right now, and she works her freaking ass off to be as good as she is. If Bianca was in her 30s and just winging it or just trying to live the coattails of what she's done before, I'm totally with you. But I don't think, simply because you get to a certain age, if you put in people can tell when you put in the work. And there's no question they put in the work. I just think Liv needs to put in some more work. And, there's a lot of people, look, we live in an age. No, Eddie, this is a broad statement. We live in an age where everything must be now. You want to know the weather? Even 10 years ago, the weather should be coming on at TV at like 11:20. You want the lucky number. My mom, I swear on God, and she still does this because she doesn't use a computer. Here in New York, the New York numbers, the daily lottery number comes on at like 12:20 in the afternoon and like 7:20 in the evening. She will watch TV and wait for the number to come on. All she's got to do is call me up and say, Anthony, could you let me know what the number is? And I can give it to her in a second. Anything we want, you get it in an instant. You request something, you get it online. So even when it comes to wrestling, people don't want to wait for things to develop and things. There's no rush, especially look at the Hook stuff. I mean, I thought Hook's debut was great. And people are already trying to make this come off as he's, that's it. You got to keep him on TV. I'm like, you have one freaking match. It's like Tony D'Angelo. You have one match, his debut. People didn't even check to see Has this guy been wrestling for a couple of years? Did he work the indies at all? No, he's a brand new wrestler. He's never wrestled before. This is his first official match. And people are ready to put the fucking title on him. So, all right. Finn Balor over Austin Theory. I think a lot of people like on that one. Later on, Austin Theory jumped Finn Balor in the back. Breaking news, everyone. WWE is going to start getting behind Austin Theory. Finn Balor is going to lose a match once in a while. It's pretty wild to see Damian Priest lose 2 matches 2 weeks in a row, right after you and I talked about he had like a 49-2 like record for 2021. But Finn Balor is, people need to understand. If you listen closely, even today, they use the V word a few times with Finn Balor. They don't really use that word up until recently, and that word is veteran. Finn Balor is now labeled as a veteran. And when you hear someone say veteran in WWE, you have to learn very quickly that a veteran's role may not coincide with a lot of people think Finn Balor is right now. Finn Balor is going to be pinned. He's going to get fruit rolled up. He's going to get distraction losses. And when they use the veteran term, understand Finn Balor, his role right now is to help give a little boost to Austin Theory in some way. Someone else ultimately will as well. But Austin Theory gets a rematch next week against Finn Balor. And guess what, Mish? I have a feeling he's going to win.
I mean, it looks like they want to do something with Theory and Balor anyways. I thought they had a good back and forth tonight. I enjoyed it. I think they complement each other's style pretty well, and I don't mind it. If this is a feud that we're going to see down the road, it'll be good. It'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. The segment with Vince, I figured it out. And I should have said something last week or the week before. Why does WWE insist on us hearing such loud crowd noise when them two are in the office? I mean, you look at segments, even from a couple of years ago, they mute the arena cameras. Like you might hear the original reaction, but usually they would calm that level down. And since Vince cannot really get those pipes as loud as before, I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know why they don't mute or really dramatically lower that crowd noise, piped in or not piped in. But Vince threatening Austin Theory again with the eraser. I can erase your career. That's where it's going. I mean, obviously, look, we have not seen Vince on TV this many times in 1 year, let alone 1 month in a couple of years. It was the 3-year anniversary of we're going to give you what you want. We hear you. And even at that time, Vince was not a regular character on TV.
No, he wasn't. I wonder if it's kind of their way of controlling this and kind of following a lot of people's advices. For a while there, we had Stephanie out on TV, and then we had Triple H out there on TV being the authority figures, and obviously most recently with Adam and Sonya and stuff like that. And there's been many people to carry that mantle, but at the end of the day, the only person that's ever been true authority in WWE has been Vince McMahon.
Right.
So since Vince McMahon can't fly all over the country, he can't do the 300 days on the road like he used to, and he sure as hell can't keep running down to the ring. We saw what happened last time Vince ran to the ring like that, blew up both his quads. But you can do these pre-recorded segments. I would imagine that the whole segment is kind of pre-recorded, meaning that, so there's 2 ways that this could be done. So the right way that this could be done is they record the pre-recorded segment dry and don't put in any crowd noise and let the natural crowd noise of the arena play while they're watching the segment. But that's not what they do. They're recording the crowd noise into they're baking in the crowd noise into the pre-recorded vignette, the pre-recorded segment.
That's what it sounds like.
So
yeah.
that's why it's so loud, because it's not like it's on a separate channel. It's all one recorded clip. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it was a separate channel, they could just lower the audience and make
Yeah.
it sound a lot more natural.
That's why, if you notice, even when Vince makes a specific comments, there's no reaction from the crowd. It's just white noise in the background.
Right.
I mean, you would think Vince making a comment about liking the Fire people, I mean, if you would have thought that would have gotten a loud boo reaction almost immediately, and the crowd noise was completely indifferent from it. And I don't want anybody to say, well, maybe the crowd couldn't understand what he was saying. Now they understand.
Oh,
what
that
he was
could
saying.
be too. I mean, different stadiums, different arenas, different halls, they have different audio setups. I mean, even just as far as Chicago goes, you listen to what they play over at Allstate versus what they pump through at United Center. It's night and day between the clarity, between the loudness, between the acoustics, everything else like that. So if people at the people that are actually at the event TT are saying that they can't hear these pre-recorded segments, they could honestly be 100% telling the truth.
But we don't hear too many people bringing that up. So
right.
But I that's a good point. I agree with you. They are definitely, when they record these segments, they're piping in the crowd noise so they can kind of like talk with it. The problem is, if it's all on the same channel, you can't lower it. You can, but you might.
But you're lowering Vince too. You're lowering Austin too. Right.
They got to just make it silent, unless they just wanted to. I don't know. I mean, the segments could be produced a little bit better, but
well, all they have to do is this: they record it dry.
Yeah.
They have an audience track, a crowd track on a pre-record playing on another channel, and then they have obviously the main feed channel of the actual audience reaction. Yeah. And so what you do is you play the audio and you raise up the audience and the pre-recorded audience at the same time till it hits the right level, as opposed to having this blaring white noise going over the track.
They could be putting the white noise so Vince only hears that and doesn't get distracted with reactions from the crowd. Imagine if the crowd would have broke out a CM Punk chant tonight. Just to troll.
That's true. Well,
you know what I mean?
That's why you would have the other audience track to go over that.
Right. So, we already talked about the Mysterios over AJ and Omos. I mean, really not much there. Just miscommunication with AJ and Omos. Omos, refuses to get into the match. We get the split up and we get the match next week against each other. I hope the match leads to a pay-per-view match, because they've been so good as a team. This feels like a blow-off very quickly. It almost feels a little bit like Miz and Morrison, and they never got their match. Yes, Miz had to go dance, but Morrison got let go. I mean, I hope that next week leads to some bullshit finish and they have a match that they won. I hope next week is not the end of it. Randy Orton over Chad Gable, fun little match. Would like to have seen it go a little longer. Randy Orton was unable to get the RKO on Otis. You think we're going to see Randy versus Otis next week?
Yeah,
I think that's a possibility.
I think that's almost where you have to go. Yeah.
Are we getting the RK Bronneman finals next week? Street Profits versus the Mysterios. Did they mention that tonight? I don't recall them bringing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe someone in the chat room, let us know. I mean, maybe they mentioned it when I came in here to set up for the show, but I don't know. Ziggler over Damian Priest by countout. Suddenly, Damian Priest has the Incredible Hulk eyes again, this time for Bobby Roode. And I got to be honest with you, I did not like the Bobby Roode interaction with Damian Priest, because Bobby Roode literally went to run away from Damian Priest,
right,
which led to the countout. And what happened was Bobby Roode fell backwards. And when Bobby Roode got up, he could have simply just run up the rampway. Instead, he almost like ran in a circle and ran right into Damian Priest who hit him with the
Yeah,
reckoning. It looked awful on TV.
it was corny.
Yeah.
A little corny.
But because Ziggler gets the count out win, Ziggler now is going to get a title shot against Damian Priest. So we're going to have Damian Priest versus Dolph Ziggler coming up. So, Rhea Ripley.
It'll be a good match.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley over Queen
I mean,
Zelina.
it will. I mean, yeah, Queen Zelina. Man, oh man. It was okay. Corey was really batting for Zelina tonight. You know,
Yeah,
it felt
I
a little
mean,
overboard as far as, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Corey Graves is doing a fine job. It's just sometimes the bullshit is so thick that it's comical just to listen to him talk. Like Zelina Vega is this master class wrestler, and it's like,
no, it's
no,
yeah.
I know. It just, I laugh at the corniness sometimes. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Corey Graves does a good job. I'm totally on his side, especially with that garbage that happened the other week with that, you know, that other broadcaster or whatever.
Oh
yeah. But
well,
as far as this, sometimes I have to laugh because it's like Corey Graves can come off as genuine sometimes with his sarcasm and his sardonic comments. And that's where people get offended because he says something a little too close to home. And then there's stuff like tonight where he was just full corn, full cheese, you know. But yeah, the match itself was okay. I mean, obviously we had the Rhea and Nikki Ash, you know,
Nikki and Carmella
there.
banned from ringside.
Right.
So, you know, that's the storyline. When Nikki Ash is not at ringside, Rhea wins. And we'll see if Rhea hurts Nikki Ash's feelings. Maybe it'll happen next week that Rhea will go out for her match. Nikki will want to go out also. And Rhea, this is just my opining, guessing, that Rhea will say, you know what? I think you should stay back here. And I think Nikki Ash will probably get very, very hurt by it. Will she snap? I don't know. But that's where it seems like they're going. And then we already talked about the tag match, Seth and Kevin Owens over Big E and Bobby Lashley. You know, not that great of a Raw. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. When I actually looked at some of the preview tonight, early in the preview, they had the Street Profits against AJ Styles and Omos. And when I saw that, and I saw some of the other, I thought this was almost like a repeat of last week. I was like, is this week's preview or is it last week's preview? Riddle, I don't know if he's going to appear in a segment again on NXT, but I was going to mention this earlier, but AJ Styles is going to be on NXT tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Now, I already saw people complaining about it.
Why?
Well,
what the fuck do you have to complain about?
Yeah, Grayson Waller over the weekend was, I guess there was some Twitter storyline stuff, and AJ Styles is going to appear on NXT. Maybe some people are fearing that AJ Styles will lose to Grayson Waller, but you and I have been professing this for a while, that we want to see some main roster stars make a cameo in NXT. You know,
no reason why they can't. Right.
Yeah. So AJ Styles on NXT. Yeah. Does anybody truly think that AJ Styles is being buried right now? I mean, AJ Styles cannot be the main eventer, center of attention all the time. And speaking of center of attention, I guess it would be sacrilegious if we didn't just add a little to what we said earlier. We have Maryse on the cutting edge. We had AJ Styles and Omos on Miz TV. And Miz obviously trying to stir it up with AJ Styles and Omos. We knew where that was going. But Maryse, I have to be honest with you, I thought it was one of the most awful segments that I have seen. I thought Madcap Moss and Corbin was horrendous. Segment. I mean,
Maryse is gorgeous, and I love her chemistry with The Miz, but I don't know what the hell she was doing out there with Edge. But to be fair, Edge wasn't really giving her anything to play with either. I just think that was just awful too.
I laughed at it for two reasons. When she was saying, I got to cook, I got to clean, I got to take care of the kids, I got to do the show, I got to do this.
Well, she was looking for sympathy.
She was looking for sympathy.
She was looking for sympathy.
And I expected Edge. There was two things in the back of my mind that I said, there's only two things that would make me pop right now. Number one, if Edge would have just said to her, like, look, I'm sorry, but this is god awful. Like, if he would have just, like, if it would have came across that he went against Swift, even though he didn't. But
he kind of did that, though. He kind of did. He's like, what are you looking for, sympathy? Like, who in the audience doesn't have to cook and clean and take care of their kids? What are you talking about?
The second part of it that I would have laughed my freaking ass off, but I knew it was not going to happen, when Maryse was running off all the things that she does, and she's like, who's going to help me? Who's going to help me? Who's going to help me do this? And it was this awkward pause. And I would have laughed my ass off, even if it was just said as a joke, if Edge got on the microphone after that awkward pause and say, I will help you. I would have fucking laughed my ass off. Because I guarantee there was a lot of pervs watching the TV tonight saying, no, I'll help you. I'll help you. And I don't blame you. But it was awful. And it was all a setup. And you and I saw
what's
this.
Even funnier than that, though, is that we know for a fact, if you've been watching the show that she's been on for the last few years, she's got Miz's dad at the house. She's got her mom at the house. She's got Miz's mom at the house, not including the actual help that they have hired at the house. It was hilarious because she was trying to play this every woman. And it's like, dude, like, you're looking for this baby face sympathy, but you live the most extraordinary lifestyle that other people can't even imagine what that's like. I mean, her parents literally wait on her and Miz hand and foot. Like, I don't know. That's why I thought it was so cringy. And at the same time, I was very happy when the audience just started booing the shit out of her. Because it's like, that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. You're trying to sell us on some garbage. And anywhere else, it might have been like, oh, poor Maryse. Oh, can you believe it? She has to take care of her own children. That's horrible.
I mean, I don't think the segment came off anywhere near the WWE expected it to, but obviously this leads to Beth Phoenix coming back and the mixed tag that we said a month ago. And I get a kick out of all these blue check marks tonight. It seems like they're leading towards a mixed tag match. I'm like, okay, welcome to a month ago, nitwits. So anyway, by the way, I put the ratings on the bottom in the ticker for those on audio only. Rampage did 571 this week. Nice 13.5% increase. Still much lower than what it should be. But still, I've said since even before the first episode, between 550 and 750. So, Nero Fate, thank you very much, my friend. Happy holidays to you. I sent you your belated prize earlier, and yes, I will check the details out either tonight or tomorrow morning. Absolutely, my friend. Thank you. SmackDown, look, everybody, I know people have realized it. Between last week and this week, SmackDown has gone up about 16, 17% in the ratings. And this past week, Roman Reigns, as much as people don't like to say it, he did move the needle. SmackDown went up almost 8% to 2,303,000. That is a nice little jump, especially around the holidays. So Roman Reigns, they moved the needle. Yesterday we talked about it in detail. It's going to be fun to see where they go with this now with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Very quickly, for those that are interested, if you go to my Twitter, you can see the video and the link is there for the GoFundMe. Last week, we learned that Jimmy Rave had passed away and 39 years old, and they are raising money for the funeral expenses and for his memorial. So I decided since I have almost 70 of these CM Punk cards in my possession. Yes, we gave away 10, but I still have almost 60. So I decided to do a unprofessional 45-second video. If you didn't win a card and maybe you want to get a card, but maybe also have a little bit of a worthy cause, check this out. Merry Christmas, everyone. It is December 19th, 2021, about 4:45 p.m. That's not really the reason why I'm up here. Recently, we lost Jimmy Rave, and his daughter has set up a GoFundMe page for his medical expenses, funeral expenses. Yeah, those medical bills do not go away with him passing. They don't write it off. So since I was just made aware of the GoFundMe, there's an old phrase, give a little, get a little. So why don't we do this? And I'm sorry, this is not open for anybody who has already donated. But for the first 25 of you that donate at least $50 to Jimmy Rave's GoFundMe, and you send me proof that you donated after this recording, I will be more than happy to send you one of these CM Punk AEW cards absolutely free. Obviously, Jimmy Rave and CM Punk have a little history together, positive one. So I said, why not? Let's give away some of these cards. So the first 25 of you that donate at least $50 or more from this point forward, and you send me proof, I'll be more than happy to send you a card. If we get all those 25 cards given away quickly, then we will open it up for a few more. So, all right, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. You all take care. So we'll see what happens. I already gave away, I think, one or two. So, we just posted it late last night. So the link is on my page. His daughter is the one that set up the GoFundMe. And do not send the money to me. Send it to the GoFundMe and then send me proof that you sent it. And I will be more than happy to send you a card. Few people have been asking about the Daphne, Georgia license plates. I have about 20 of them as well still. So we may end up maybe putting those up as well, just to maybe get some donation activity for Jimmy Rave. And for those that sent me some DMs today that were close to Jimmy, you know who you are. If you happen to be seeing this, as I already wrote back, I thank you very much. I just wanted to do a little something. And, with all those cards, maybe it's a nice little, you give a little, you get a little. So I'm sure some people out there were planning on donating anyway, but, you get a little something back in the process. So, just a couple of programming notes, and we will quickly get into those two categories. I don't think it's going to take more than 5 minutes really to get into them because the choices, I don't think there's that many. But first, programming updates. Christmas Day lands on Saturday. I normally do the Don Tony show on Saturday. Rampage will be on Saturday at 9 o'clock instead of the usual 10 o'clock. So there's not going to be an episode of the Don Tony show on Saturday. I am spending Christmas Day with my family. I will be staying over their house that night. But on Sunday, I will be doing a combination episode of the Sit Down and the Don Tony show. So Sunday at 8 o'clock, we will do a little bit of a bigger show, and it'll be a combination of the two. Also, it appears, yes, I will do a New Year's Eve episode. We did one last year. I don't know what time the show will start yet. It'll either be 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. So I will work on that. But New Year's Eve, yes, there will be an episode. So a lot of you are not doing much, especially with this Omicron shit. Mish, if you're not doing anything, you're more than welcome to hang out as well. I may reach out to a few other people if they want to hang out for a little while just to talk. Nothing is planned. We're just going to sit, chew the fat, whatever it goes, it goes. All right. So now, very quickly, the Blackhearts Year End Awards. We already did 4 categories. We got 2 more that we're going to get into tonight. One is Tag Team of the Year. And another one is the breakout, I'm sorry, not breakout, most memorable moment of the year. So I already compiled a few choices, and Mish, definitely any choices that you have that are not on this list, we definitely could add it. If any of you tuning in right now can think of another choice that should be on this list, or if you feel something should not be on this list, absolutely, please speak up now. So, first off, the tag team of the year. This is just my opinion right off the bat. Finjuice, Briscoes, Good Brothers, El Fantasmo, and Taishi Ishimori. I don't think their 2021s turned out as good as they should have, so I do not have them on the list of tag team of the year. I came up with, MSK I also feel. MSK was on good momentum for a while. I don't think they should be considered as tag team of the year as well. The teams I did come up with, and I don't know how you feel about this, Mish, I have on the list the Young Bucks, the Lucha Bros, Dangerous Techers of Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., all you New Japan fans, Randy Orton and Riddle, FTR, the New Day, and the Usos. Can you think any of those teams, Mish, should be taken off? I mean, look, this is not a popularity contest, everyone. I mean, I know a lot of you out there don't like the Young Bucks, but there's no denying that they had a pretty solid 2021. I don't know, Mish, how do you feel about those teams? Anybody?
I'm surprised AJ and Omos aren't on there.
I didn't put AJ and Omos. Guys, you think we should put AJ and Omos on there? I mean, I don't mind.
I thought they had a great year. I mean, they were the cornerstone of Raw for a while there. That's my personal opinion. Maybe everybody doesn't like AJ and Omos, and that's why they're splitting up, you know?
Yeah, we have RK Bro on here, everyone. So AJ and Omos is not a bad choice. AJ and Omos. So we have it. We just added AJ and Omos. So right now we have AJ and Omos, the New Day, the Usos, FTR, RK Bro, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., the Lucha Bros, and the Young Bucks. So, yeah, I mean, I tried to do a lot of research beforehand. And like I said, there were a couple of other teams that at some point during the year, I said, okay, you know what? This team is on a pretty good roll. And then it just came to a standstill. I think WWE totally screwed MSK's year. They were on such a strong momentum. You look at 2021 overall, I don't think, I mean, if people really, and this doesn't have to be as is right now. I'm going to put everything in the community section, and then you all are going to have a final vote as to who should be the nominees. So if we get a lot of people that say, look, MSK should be on the list, we will add them. But we can't take the Young Bucks off. Just because you don't like the Young Bucks doesn't mean, this is not, again, there is categories for popularity. This is based on strictly, you know, their work, their production, and the Young Bucks, whether you like them or not, definitely is on that list. So, most memorable, and look in the comment section, if you have an argument that a team should be added or taken off, once the show is over, post it in the comments section. It's not a ploy to get you to post comments, but if you really have an argument for something, please say it. And I think you will when we get into most memorable moment of 2021. I came up with 6. I don't know if there's any others, Mission, you could think of that we could add to it. Chat room, you know, you knew for a few hours that we were going to do this. Maybe you have something. But the 6 that I've come up with first, and I think Mish will like some of these choices. Obviously, CM Punk's AEW debut on that Rampage episode, obviously, is one. And that may end up winning it. It could. You know, I mean, it still only did half the rating of what WWE does, so not everybody, but I really think that'll probably win it. But that's on the list. Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole both making their debuts at AEW All Out. Because remember, they showed up within minutes of each other. That's on the list. Christian returning at the Royal Rumble. Nobody expected it. It was an awesome surprise. He appeared in the Royal Rumble and did a fucking fabulous job. I think Christian at the Royal Rumble definitely deserves to be on that list. Brock Lesnar returning at SummerSlam, I have that on the list.
That's not a bad one.
You know, that's iffy.
That was really good.
Yeah. I mean, that was a good one. Sting. Remember, Sting didn't wrestle in 2020. Winter is coming last year. He only showed up.
Yeah.
This year, Sting, at 62 years old, returned to the ring at AEW Double or Nothing. That's on the list. I have Matt Cardona beating Nick Gage to become the king of hardcore, king of the death match. Matt Cardona beating Nick Gage for the GCW title. I don't know how you all feel about that. Is that a memorable moment that should be on that list?
It is, but I don't know if it's for the same level of what other points of the year are. You know what? You can put that up there.
If you all feel that should be taken off, we will take it off. Because I know a bunch of you now are saying Hangman Page winning the AEW Heavyweight Championship. I will put that on the list. So Hangman Page winning the AEW Heavyweight Championship. I don't know if Cena Money in the Bank was a memorable moment. We're talking about that one moment where people just lost their shit. Right. You know, I mean, the only reason why I put Cardona on there is look at the reaction when he beat Nick Gage.
Well, people lost their minds.
Yeah. So this is like losing your shit memorable moment. And I figured this is maybe more of a positive moment. You know, like I originally had, WWE releasing, the mass releases, but I don't know if that is like a memorable moment. You know what I mean? I don't know if Big E winning the WWE Championship was a huge, memorable moment. What do you think, Mish?
It should have been, but it wasn't.
It should have been.
It should have gone a lot further, but it feels, I don't know, Big E's entire run so far, it's like I want to believe in it, but man, oh man, it just feels a little hollow. He needs a good feud. That's what he needs. He needs a memorable feud.
Guys, should we put Big E on there, though? Just for... I don't want to say, and Mish does not like this either. I don't like putting things on there just to be nice. But Big E does have a big, no pun intended, following. And the guy has worked his freaking ass off.
Yeah.
So we could put Big E. I mean, that's kind of, that's right. It's in the middle. You know what I mean? Most memorable moment. I don't know if look, like I said, I'm not trying to sway votes here, but I think CM Punk or Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson, I think CM Punk will end up winning this. But what about Bianca whipping Sasha? Remember that moment when Bianca beat Sasha for the championship? Should we put Bianca and Sasha?
I mean, that wasn't big for me, but maybe it was a big enough moment.
Well, like I said, all right, a lot of people are actually saying do not put Big E on the list. It's not saying that Big E's moment wasn't a nice moment, but was it the most memorable moment? I don't know if it was on that magnitude. I'm in agreement with Mish and all of you out there. But like I said, maybe we could put Sasha and Bianca. And look, again, this is not a final list. We still, and let me also say this. I know we didn't talk about it on the show, Mish, but Hannibal stabbing that referee, Blood Hunter Devin Nicholson, that asshole that we used to rip apart 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This is why you do not do awards until January. Because some places out there already did their year-end awards. And we have Jabroni of the Year. We have stupidest... I'm not saying, he would win stupidest moment, but, people did the year-end awards before what Devin Nicholson, Blood Hunter, did to that referee, stabbing him in the head with the spike. So things will happen. Look at Match of the Year. Some people did their awards before winter is coming. How do you not have Danielson and Hangman Page on that list? This is why you don't do year-end awards until the year is over, because we still have 10 days left. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen in 10 days?
True.
So, all right, we are pretty much done. I know this would be disrespectful, but hey, you know, he contributed his hard-earned money, and he has a right to his opinion, whether we agree or disagree with it. Crazy Cruiserweight says he feels that WWE needs to target women who are 18 and just graduated high school. And I got news for you, Cruiserweight. That's what that program is. What is it? The NIL, MEL? MEL is Mel.
NIL.
NIL. That's what that program is. It's athletes coming out of school that they could still do other things, but they will have a little commitment to WWE. So, yeah, it gets the appeal, keeps them ready. Cora Jade, I tell you, I think the interaction with Darby helped her tremendously over the weekend, but Cora Jade's got a nice little niche following. So, you know, that's a nice little moment for her. She's building. Still got a way to go. And Kevon Lewis with a fun fact. Diamante has been on TV a total of 0 times this year, and Abaddon only 2 times this year. Like I said, everybody, you know, AEW, Dark, and Elevation, they are designed to just pad numbers. It's not about building the stars of tomorrow on those shows. It's about padding numbers. And I'm going to use Jade Cargill as an example. I like Jade Cargill. She's definitely a future superstar. But when you see a record of like 19-0, and you realize that 14 or 15 of those wins are on Dark or Elevation, you take away the numbers from Dark and Elevation on a lot of wrestlers' records. They have almost nothing on Dynamite and Rampage. That's all those shows are for. Now Brandy has a match every week. Look at their opponents.
Right.
You know, in 3 months, Brandy will be 8-0. And then you'll look back and you'll be like, who is Jenny Jackson? Who is Lisa Left Nipple? You know, who is Marianne Marvova? You know, like, fuck off. And nothing against them, but that's all it is. Padding numbers. So, but anyway, Mitch, I think we are done.
Okay.
We had some fun convo. And
we did too.
Yeah, I think it's just tomorrow off the cuff. Did we do questions last week?
Yeah.
We did questions last week. Yeah, so I think tomorrow will be off the cuff on Patreon. We will have the winner of the favorite Christmas movie tournament. It is down to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and Home Alone. So if you're a part of our Patreon family, you have until 8 o'clock Tuesday night to vote. We will announce the winner, and then we will get into the next Christmas tournament. So
very good.
Mish, have a great night, my friend. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Be well.
Much love, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's the last breakfast soup before Christmas. So
that's right. Last one.
Yeah. I'll be talking to you a few times this week. So I'll talk to you tomorrow, my friend. Everyone, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I know if I come off a little bit fidgety tonight, it's only because I got 2 feet that are still very much swollen. And unfortunately, my ice pack only lasted for an hour. So, you know, I've been elevating those son of a bitches for the last week as much as possible. So I'm going to get out of here. Now, Sam is saying sell his card and give the money to Jimmy Rave's family. That's very, very nice of you, man. That's very nice of you. I will be more than happy to do that. Don't forget the contests. We will give away the Undertaker. You know, I put in the preview CM Punk cards as well. So you know what? for all of you that stood to the end of tonight's show, I'm not going to put this in the synopsis, but if you want a chance of winning the CM Punk cards as well, in the comment section somewhere, put hashtag DT. All right. When you write, whatever you write, just put hashtag DT. I don't want to put Punk because then everybody that doesn't tune in all the way there, they're going to see everybody else writing Punk and they're going to write just Punk just to do it. So hashtag DT. And what we'll do is next week, because I will pick 10 more winners. So for all of you that were nice enough to stay to the end tonight, or if you're tuning in on the replay and you watch to the end, post a comment in the comment section. Somewhere in it, just put hashtag DT. DT as in Don Tony. So you could write like hashtag DT. When are you going to do this? Or hashtag DT. What do you think about this? So this way, that's how we'll recognize it. Next Monday, I will pick 10 more winners. See, that's a cool thing about having 70 of these CM Punk cards. I know a lot of people tell me I could put them on eBay and get $30 to $50 a pop, depending on the demand. But I'd rather give them away, give some for worthy cause, and you all enjoy it. And if you don't want it, you could give it to someone else. You could sell it, throw it away, whatever you want to do. Bring it to an autograph signing and get Punk to sign it, whatever you want to do. So, all right, everybody. Much love. I have a little bit of work to do still. So I'm going to jet out of here. And thank you, as always, for your support. Very much appreciated. As I said yesterday, I had no idea that we broke 23,000 subscribers over the weekend. I got to be honest, it was a little, on the brain, kind of like racking my brain. Trust me, even though you feel good after what happened to my dad in January with his angiogram, which led to a triple bypass surgery, and it runs in the family, and my uncle died from it. And you all on not this past Thursday, the Thursday before, you heard my doctor say, oh, we got a problem. He found a problem from my stress test. So even though I was confident that it was not going to be overly serious, still, when you go on that table and they're about to knock you out, you could still see the bruise. You could see the bruise. I know you could. There it is. Yeah. They stick that IV in you and then they hit you with the anesthesia. You get this really, really nervous feeling like, holy shit, what if they do find something bad? Holy shit, what if they do have to split me down from here? I thought about my fiance. What if my fiance doesn't want to be with a guy that has his whole chest split open? You know what I mean? It's like a lot of crazy things run through your head. And it kind of rattled me over the weekend. That's why, honestly, I think the best thing that we did was just get right back to business with these shows. But, I got to change my diet a little bit. I'm still on keto, but no more MCT oil and cutting down on the cheese and the bacon, a little bit more on the fish I'm going to eat and avocados and things like that. So we'll be good. We'll be good. I'm not going nowhere. So you all have a great night. Even though this is the last Breakfast Soup Raw before Christmas, we still have more shows this week. So I'm not going to say Merry Christmas right now, but we will talk to each other later this week. So be well. Have a great one. Stay safe with this Omicron shit. Don't want to hear any bad news from everyone. So have a good night, everyone. Take care.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the hosts. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.